Hi ladies, I'm going to give you some rich girl tips on finding love. Now, I'm Shay, your love diva, a master certified love transformer, and I've been helping women for over 2 decades to be able to attract love using a formula based in science. And what I have found is that women who are rich and who are very successful often treat dating the way they treat their careers. All of that energy of making it happen does not work when it comes to a relationship. What you have to understand that when it comes to dating, it is important for you to be able to sit safely in your feminine energy. All that masculine energy that has brought you all your success will turn away a masculine man, the kind of man who will do for you, pour into you, and work to earn you. This is the kind of man that's going to make you happy long term. So in order to attract this kind of man, it means that you have to increase your feminine energy, which for power women, that oftentimes isn't something that instinctively comes to you. So how do you increase your feminine energy? The first thing that you have to do is you got to heal your love blocks. A love block is any thought, behavior, or belief that blocks you from the love that you want. It is the trauma, it is the story, it is the heartbreak, it is the fears that keep you from your soulmate. And until you heal that, you won't be able to sit safely in your feminine energy.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you know what I'm about. So let's get into it. So today's video comes from Shay, your love diva. And I'm just going to be honest, the first 2 minutes so far, or a minute and a half so far of this video, I'm actually pretty surprised. I had looked at some of her other videos and it was really one of the other ones that actually brought me to her channel and that I wanted to actually take a look at, but there were some issues that I wasn't able to get that video up and running. So I ended up, moving to this one just to see, what she would say. And so far, she really has, kind of nailed it a little bit. I think, as I've talked about all the time, is when you're dealing with instinct-driven women, and that's generally what people are talking about when they're saying women walking in their masculine energy. It's really just instinct-driven women, all right? Because not every woman is born/raised to be instinct-driven. And I wish a lot of women would really understand that, because if you're in that position, if you're in that place where you are very successful on your job, / you are a manager, / you are a business owner, / you desire those types of things, then you are not the traditional type of woman when it comes to being overly romantic, being overly desirous of a family and children and things like that, right? Because your desire is for success. Your desire is not necessarily for a husband who will take care of you. And one of the things that always, I think, trips instinct-driven women up, and I'll be honest, I'm not even sure how many instinct-driven women watch these videos anymore. And it's really sad, because I think for a long period of time, a lot of people were out here and they were talking about it, but they weren't really giving these women solutions. And instead, they were just pointing fingers at them and basically making those women feel less than. So therefore, those women actually stopped looking, and now they're just kind of hiding behind certain women, influencers and different things like that they like. But the truth is, it really is easy to get out of it. And it's more of adopting just the heart posture of saying, once you get beyond the success, once you push those things aside, what else is there? And beyond success, there is a love for people. And that love for people, deals with your husband and it deals with your children. Now, a lot of instinct-driven women, they put all their energy towards the children and not towards the husband. And when you do that, it's actually out of order. The Bible leans you to your husband first, then to your children. And if you go to your children first, okay, like I say, it's out of order. But again, I understand, what a lot of instinct-driven women are going through, because I went through it myself. Like I've said, I am instinct-driven. And a lot of people, especially men, I think that they don't really empathize with the desire of a woman who really just wants success. They want the same thing that a lot of men want. And a lot of women in the past have literally fought for the opportunity to be able to be successful, right? So I don't think as men, people should be beating up on women 100% just because they want success in life, because it's not the success in life that causes the problem. Remember, I always talk about Proverbs 31. Okay. And again, I think a lot of pastors have missed the boat when it comes to this particular chapter of the Bible, right? If you really analyze Proverbs 31, you will see that in today's society, we would call her a masculine woman. We would call her an instinct-driven woman. This is a woman who basically owns her own businesses, who buys, sells, and trades. We do see this. And we don't really see her husband doing anything. Again, people can allude to the fact and say, no, he probably blah, blah, blah. But see, that is you alluding. That is not the literal scripture telling you, right? So as far as we know, she is, the literal person that brings in all the money, as far as we know. The only thing that we know about her husband really is that he likes to sit at the gates with the other men and speak about and talk about God. Okay, because that's what a lot of Israelite men did. They like to sit around and talk about the mysteries of God. So it was the wife in the Proverbs 31 that actually goes out and does things. And again, if you understand the context, it was, I think it was Limo. I'm not sure how to say his name, but it was his mother that told him to find a woman like that, because that was her telling him, this is a good woman. This is what good women look like. This is what good women act like, because more than likely she was like that herself. So she's trying to teach her son how to find a really good woman. But the problem is, like so many things of the Bible, is that, basically the devil has come in and he's perverted it. It's not that these instinct-driven women or masculine women are doing anything wrong. It is really that their focus is wrong. See, their focus is solely on self. And anytime your focus is on self, it's wrong. Okay, throughout the Bible, God focuses on his people. Jesus focuses on the people. Okay, Jesus is self-sacrificing. So anyone, male or female, okay, that is not self-sacrificing is not really doing what God wants them to do. And instinct-driven people, we all get caught up in a God complex where we think we're better than everybody else. And we think that the world is here for us to enjoy all of its riches and its splendor. But anytime you do that, you're setting yourself up for a life of failure, maybe not in human eyes, but in God's eyes, and you're setting yourself up for a life of loneliness. So for a lot of women, all they have to do is get away from this concept that the money is where the desire is. Yes, have the success. Yes, go up the mountaintop, but don't allow that to define your life. Okay, allow your life to be defined by how many human beings you bless and how well your husband/children look at you and say, wow, mom, you're awesome. Wow, wife, you're awesome. That should be the desire of every single woman. Okay, and honestly, every single man, because a man should want to do for his wife. Now, in order for a woman to get that, it just like the lady said, it really is not that difficult. All a woman has to do is to allow a man to pretty much take care of her and to get in line with his leadership. Now, that does not mean that you have to stop going up the mountaintop. It does not mean that you can't have your success. It just simply means you have to stop putting your success above your family.
Your feminine energy allows you to step into it and step into a power that attracts that masculine man. 2, the second way for you to be able to increase your feminine energy is by you getting in touch with your emotions, getting in touch with your womb feminine energy. What does that mean? There's so many women that are so disconnected from their emotions because of the pain that they have experienced that they don't know when their intuition, they don't know when their emotions are speaking to them. And they're so disconnected from themselves that they are unable to be vulnerable to a partner. Vulnerability is what allows that partner to come and enter into your world and love you the way you want him to love you. So it is important that you are able to be vulnerable with the right man. And the only way you're able to do that is by being able to connect with your body and connect with your emotions. And then last but not least way for you to
So when she's talking about emotions, again, I agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with the way that she talked about it, but I do agree that a lot of instinct-driven women need to be attached to their emotions. See, as a masculine man and as a man that walks in instinct energy, for the most part, I'm the most attracted to, I kind of hate to say it like this, but a woman who needs help, a woman who is going through something emotionally. Those are the women that I am the most attracted to because they are vulnerable, because they are in a position where, I literally desire to wrap my arms around them and say, it's going to be okay. I'm going to be here to make sure everything's okay, because that puts me in protector mode. All right. And when I'm in protector mode, that is going to be the strength of my masculinity. But see, for a lot of instinct-driven women, they've turned their emotions off because emotions, make you confused when it comes to making decisions. And I also understand this because I've also been in that situation where some women have, they've known me and they've gone through things with me, and then they're kind of like, yeah, you're not really into your emotions like that. And especially the women that have dated a lot of men that have walked a little bit more in their feminine energy. Not to say these men were 100% in their feminine energy, but they were just a little bit more so than me. They were used to men having a lot more emotion and moving around in a lot more just, I guess, colorful way, where my life, really, in a lot of times narrows in to the quote unquote black and white, because I just don't move and groove like that. Like, for instance, there's a lot of women who really enjoy the concept of a man making them laugh. And while I do have a funny side, that's not my default. Okay, for me to get into that funny, humorous side, because that takes emotion, I have to be kind of in a frame of mind in that day. Like I've said, most of the time, when I am going around my day-to-day life is very much like when I make a lot of these videos. And some people that have, come out to some of the events and things that I've done have literally seen me, walk around in this type of energy. And some people are even surprised when I do start cracking jokes and when I do start laughing and having fun and just being silly, because they're so used to me being quote unquote serious all the time. And again, that's where a lot of instinct-driven women run into problems, because men in general, especially masculine men, are not attracted to you being able to handle everything, to you not ever wanting to cry or ever being in your emotions. Believe it or not, being in your emotions sometimes is very attractive to masculine men. So for a woman to be hard and always able to take on everything, for a masculine man, that feels like a man. It feels very much like a man. So when the man is with you, he can't connect with you. Okay? Unless he goes the other way.
be able to increase your feminine energy is for you to let go of the need to be perfect. Oftentimes, rich girls who are looking for love, they do not know how to step out of that need to be perfect, that need to always have the answers and predict their future. And as long as you always need to be perfect, then you're always going to be criticizing yourself when it comes to you being worthy enough to attract love. Your soulmate is not looking for you to be perfect. Your soulmate is just looking for you to be perfect for them. And you, as you are, is perfect for your soulmate. So let go and just be. I hope that helps.
Also, I have to agree with some of that she said at the end. And I wouldn't use the word perfect. Maybe that was, how she would see it. I would just say, again, going back to being vulnerable. Again, I think a lot of women don't understand that men are attracted to vulnerability in a woman. Men are attracted to a woman that doesn't have all the answers. Back in the 80s and 90s, when romantic comedies were really popular, there was, someone, Meg Ryan. And Meg Ryan was actually one of my favorite actresses. And every role she played, she was the goofy woman. I mean, she never really had it together. She was never the beautiful princess or anything like that. She was just more of this really type of goofy type of woman that wasn't so goofy that it was kind of like totally, like a joke continuously, but it was just that she didn't have her life all together. She might have thought she had it together, but she had all these flaws. And it was literally the flaws that men fell in love with, right? But since that time, the romantic comedy has taken a turn. In almost all of the new ones, the women generally do have it all together. And a lot of Hallmark films, the woman is successful and she's this and she's that. And then she ends up, in some, small town right at Christmas or whatever it is. And she meets this guy who kind of sees through her success and basically really kind of gives her rest. So in essence, the man is becoming the feminine while the woman stays in the masculine. But see, that is what Hollywood is teaching you. But in real life, for the ladies that are instinct driven, it really doesn't work that way. And it's really not that hard for you to turn it off. For you to just say, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to let him handle it. I'm going to sit back, and if I feel like crying, I'm going to cry. If I feel like that my job or my situation is getting to me, I'm going to let it get to me. I'm going to show that I'm a human being and I'm not a robot. And that is what, instinct-driven men, very powerful men that are walking in their masculine, because they don't have to be instinct-driven men, to be walking in their masculine. But those types of men, that is what they're attracted to, right? And if you're not willing to show them that vulnerable side, more than likely they're going to bypass you. Because you have to understand from a man's perspective, when we run into women that have all this confidence about all these things that they think are important and that we really don't think are important, but then there's no vulnerability in them, then we are not attracted, because we're attracted literally to move in that protector mindset. So when we run into a woman that's already her own protector, it's not really that attractive to us. So I'm hoping you all get something out of this. And let me know how you feel about it in the comments. Remember, on Wednesday, October the 2nd, we will be having, a Zoom call live. I'm going to be putting some information up on the calendar so you all can see that on the community page, so you all can see that. But until then, please like, please subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.